Okay, we're starting with sharing my screen for better understanding. Yes. All right. So Ideal 3.0, as you all know, this is the second round of training that we have started from 16th onwards. This is going to go on for like the next 3 days. That is till the 18th of October. So Ideal, as you know, is a mega event that Ideal organizes or like annually, and this is the third edition. The theme I'm going to be explaining shortly, but rest assured, there's going to be some competition, but also like massive learning in terms of the kind of people you encounter and the kind of takeaways you're going to have. The training itself is going to just be very revelatory for people who are new to debating, right? And if you don't understand anything, just please put your question in the chat. Also, all questions are equally important, so don't hold yourself back. So, yes, on to Ideal then, and in terms of what you can expect from Ideal besides winning and losing, which of course everybody's mindset.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Not like this in the chat, please. Not like
Excuse me, ma'am. Can you please speak a little louder? Your voice is really low.
understood, but even those kinds of complaints will have to come through the chat, all right? Just not setting the precedent of unmuting ourselves. Cool. So the kind of things that you can expect from the tournament is, of course, like learning and exposure, and the training itself will give you a clear understanding of what debates are like and what they can be like in the future if you choose to go to other tournaments. It's not just national tournaments, there's also international tournaments that Ideal does, gives you opportunities to go to if you do decently well at like these tournaments. And so, yeah, you get the chance to qualify as a state team, which means that you're going to, I mean, if you qualify for the second round, then you're going to find people who you can debate with, teams you can debate against. You know that state teams are formed, state teams go against other state teams. We'll let you in about that in the next round of training. And then there's this ISDS national camp. For those of you who do not know about it, read up on it, even if you don't understand it completely because you're completely new, that's all right. But ISDS is this prestigious opportunity wherein and this is like they shortlist you for the ultimate competition that happens on an international level, which is WSDC, and they have multiple rounds of selection. We directly get you to the quiz round if you're among the top 42 performers at IPL, right? And then, of course, you're going to be certified if you have participated. You haven't made it to the out rounds, you're going to get participation certificate. If you have some merit, as in you've gotten to the other rounds, you're going to get merit certificates. You'll be duly recognized. And then there is international opportunities that you're constantly going to be exposed to now that you are a part of the Ideal community, right? So that's that. All right, coming to the more important parts of the tournament, right? Something that you might have encountered on our Instagram, but probably will need a little bit more intel on. I'm going to be explaining the theme now. How we're going to go about things from this slide onwards is that I'm going to explain the thing that I think I need to explain really well, and then I'm going to take questions pertinent to that particular slide, right? This is to say that if you're going to ask questions about, hey, I'm not available on so and so dates, yeah, and other logistical questions, please don't ask them right now. We'll take them towards the end. I'll tell you how we're going to deal with them. Right now, keep yourselves to asking these questions, asking questions about the training that I'm doing, about the theme for now. All right, cool. So the theme for Ideal 3.0, like you know, Indian Debating League, the hallmark of this tournament itself is that this will always have India-centric themes, right? This is to say that this is one tournament in India which you go to and you only find themes related to India. It completely encompasses your knowledge of India in that sense. There's no other tournament that gives you such a comprehensive view, right? Uh, so how we are covering India this time in this particular edition is that we're going to traverse through ancient India and we're going to talk about it all through the medieval India and then to the modern world that we're a part of now. It's called India's Odyssey. Now, what does Odyssey mean according to you all? You can put the answers in the chat. Give me some keywords to understand. Like, don't write proper sentences. Just keywords should be. Right, adventure, journey. Okay. Culture, okay. All right. Sculpture's journey about India. All right. So the predominant response is that uh, Odyssey is a journey. You're right. The dictionary definition would be that it's a journey, it's an adventure, and it's traditionally related to the Greek culture. That's where it comes from largely. So if you've heard of Odysseus, even if you haven't, it's fine. I'm just telling you what the origin is like. Now, by the word itself, you understand most of what we're trying to do with the theme, right? India's Odyssey, as in we are taking you through the journey of India, what we've been, what we were like, what are the milestones we've been through, and what have we become by the virtue of that today. The thing here is, and the catch here is that, I mean, a valid question also to ask here is that how do you understand all of this in like 5 days time or 10 days time, or like why should I read up on the history of India, which UPSC aspirants do perhaps for a tournament. So here is what this is what the catch is, and here's where I'm explaining the methodology of researching, right? So how you're going to research about ancient India, medieval India, and then modern India is not by like working yourself up by thinking, oh, I have to research so much, I have to read so much. No, it's not a lot if you strategically do things, right? In ancient India, there's a couple of things that stand out. There's a couple of things that are prominent. Nobody scribbles on my screen. I can see you doing it. Mimamsa. So the thing is that in ancient India, there's a couple of things that are important. For example, the Indus Valley civilization, the ruins. What do we know about it? What was it like? What were a couple? There's some concepts which are related to Indus Valley civilization. Then there's the Vedic culture, the rise of Buddhism. There's a couple of things that the internet will quickly. I mean, that the internet will make accessible to you the moment you write ancient India on like the Google search bar. So those are the things you're reading up on, right? You're not reading up on literally everything that ancient India had because that's humanly impossible, but it's also not required from the tournament standpoint, right? The kind of motions we're going to be setting are going to be the motions that will be from the most important, prominent things that happened, but the motions will be smart. Like they're going to be from expected places like Indus Valley, rise of Buddhism, Bhakti movement, something else in ancient India. But so it's not going to be anything unknown if you just read up on the milestones and not everything, not every step of the journey, right? Similarly, medieval India, what's there? There's the Mughals, there's the Rajputs, there's various dynasties coming in, there's the Mughal architecture. So, what are the peculiar features of it? There's Charbagh, uh, I mean, there's this Charbagh concept, and there's a lot of architectural nuances for which medieval India is known. Okay, quick trivia question: who made Chandni Chowk? Who's credited with the design with like designing Chandni Chowk in the chat? Does anyone know? It's okay if you don't. I mean, yeah, recording will be shared. Shahjahan, okay, you're close. Right. Right. Okay, Jahanara. So these are women architects at the time, right? And daughters of Shah Jahan, if I'm not mistaken. So those kinds of things, right? Intriguing stuff. Read up on it. Like if you even if you go to YouTube, and I'm going to suggest a couple of YouTube channels here. There's Beyond Gravitas, Palki Sharma Upadhyay. I'm sure some of you are following that channel by yourself. The other channels are School of Life for some principles, infographics, right? Those kinds of channels just give you general insight into cultures, etc. So read about School of Life, those kinds of things. So now what I need to do is go to these YouTube channels, find the right kind of material which will help you understand India or some concepts. Just give me one second.
यार पापा मेरे मैं टाइम से आ उन्होंने तो बोला था 8:30 बजे टाइम दो
So what we're necessarily looking at here is that the thing about medieval India is also not like everything under the sun that happened in medieval India. This is more about the most important things that happened, right? So read upon those things. Now, how do you find those things? I was referring to sources. The goods websites to refer to are like Reuters, Britannia. So Britannia is a really nice website which I've been using for so many years now for anything you want to learn about it. Don't go to Wikipedia because it's a bad sort of like a habit that you form, and Wikipedia is credible in that sense. So avoid sites that are not so credible. So you go to these sites and you write in type in these keywords, right, which will give you some insights into how to read about these uh, topics. Now, also like your history books, in and of itself will give you a lot of intel into what we're going to have. So perhaps read up on that. Modern India, again, I think modern India is going to be the easiest for you to deal with because we're literally living in that time. So modern India starts with like British colonization, the freedom struggle, industrialization, which was also happening around the time when we were a colony, technology and current issues, as in like, of course, the rise of AI, globalization, free trade, Instagram, memes, all of that, popular culture, what has become of it now, all of that is a part of modern India. So, what is modern India mostly characterized by? You definitely read about globalization, right? What has globalization done to the economy, to the politics, to the social milieu of various places? So, those kinds of questions are the questions you ask yourself when you're researching on the theme. Now, that's thoroughgoing analysis of how to go about theme dissection and what the theme necessarily encompasses. I'll take questions in the chat about the theme only. Okay. See, okay. Subtopic for round one. Niharika, mute yourself. Arnav, mute yourself. Subtopic for round one is unsung discoveries. All right, unsung discoveries. Quickly, one word answer in the chat. What does the word unsung imply? Unsung heroes is very commonly used, or like as a term. What does that mean? Good, yeah, good. Not very popular, underrated. Underrated is a good word. Unknown, yeah, sure. Untold also is a good word.
Hello,
Unrecognized. No, either in the chat,
hello.
please. No. Cool. So, all right, that's enough. Infamous, not infamous. Infamous is not the right thing. Infamous is when you're known for a bad thing. Yeah, okay, all right, understood. You know it. Obscure, yes. So, when you're looking at, yeah, channels and websites, I'm going to share the names of. So when you're looking at unsung discoveries, you're talking about the kind of things that India did, but is not credited with, right? There's a lot of things that we know India did, but it's not credited with. Now, unsung discoveries doesn't mean that we are only going to talk about discoveries in the first round. It can be a lot of things we'll be talking about, but it is going to be about the identity of India, the parts of India's identity which are not very well known. That's what unsung discovery means. Can you give me again one word answers? What are some things that you think India did, but India is not credited with because somebody else took the merit for something? Plastic surgery, amazing. Kashvi, yes. So plastic surgery is one thing that people say India was known for. Spices, yes. Discovery of zero Aryabhatta, yes. All right, cool. Great. That's very, very responsive. I probably the most responsive batch I've had in a long time. Thanks. All right, cool. Metallurgy, yeah, okay. Pythagoras, sure, yeah. Shampoos, I'm not too sure, but if you say so, I'm going to read upon it myself. Cool. All right, we'll stop it there. So a lot of things that India is credited with, a lot of things India is not given the credit for, a lot of things that the discussions are still like ongoing for. For example, I mean, of course, the famous Shashi Tharoor speech about how the Britishers owe it to us, like at the reparations and how it should come about. So those kinds of things, right? We how can India reclaim its identity basically is about unsung discoveries. All right. That's the first this thing subtopic. Okay. Now Okay, give me a show of hands. How many of you can't hear me properly? I see some of you complaining in the chat about it. Is everybody able to hear me loud and clear? Wow, okay. 12 people can't hear me properly. Okay, raise your hands if you can't hear me. I think you've started raising your hands if to indicate that you are able to hear. Yeah, I think I'm audible to most of you. Please fix your internet connection or something if you are not able to hear me. Lower your hands. Out of 150 people, 6 people can't hear. Cool. So basically, what we're looking at here is unsung heroes, and like I said, unsung heroes are is not always unsung discovery is not always going to be about discovery. So don't come running to the OC saying, "Hey, the motion wasn't set up on zero, or the motion wasn't set on Pythagoras theorem." It's not going to be. It's going to be set on India's identity and how it was lost in the past and how we can resuscitate it or reclaim it now. All right. That's it. Now, some people wanted me to repeat the sources I'm referring to, write them down. The first one is School of Life. Now, School of Life does not have specific videos on like India, but it gives you a lot of conceptual clarity. All right. Another YouTube channel I like going to for conceptual clarity, like sociology, understanding sociology, how people work, how societies work, is Crash Course, John Green, and other also, right? So Crash Course is another important this thing. Then there's Beyond Gravitas. Some videos of Beyond Gravitas are directly relevant to the theme that we have here, Palki Sharma Upadhyay. All right. And then you watch other news channels, whichever you follow, read the newspapers. It helps, of course, especially the editorial part. And then there is this entire uh, set of websites, Reuters, Britannia. Britannia is definitely good. I think just stick to it. Whenever you want to find something about, whenever you want to find like a synopsis or like a summary of something, just go to Britannia. They have like a very good way of assorting stuff. Right. I think we should move on. Let me look at the chat here. Is there a place where these subthemes are available? Yeah, if you go to the Ideal website, like the page, you will see all of the subthemes. Ideal 2023, if you click on that. Could you please write it in? Okay, it's been written in the chat. Can you please send those names in the chat box? It was sent by somebody. Ma'am, any channel which is best? There's no such thing as like the best channel, all right? So there are multiple channels. You can choose the channel you're the happiest with. All right, so that's that. Now coming on to the more routine stuff, like how are we supposed to meet, what are we going to do, right? So the thing is that the trainings are going to be from 16th October to 18th October, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. 16th is of course happening right now. On day one, what are we doing? We're doing theme explanation. I'm done with it. Format introduction, I'll be doing in the next half an hour that I have with you all, right? And then day two is when we do the tips and tricks. So like I'm already going to explain the format to you, but I'm going to get into how to deliver good speeches, effective speeches, how to score well, what the judges will be looking at, all those like things that you might also have questions on. Reserve it for tomorrow, right? We're going to get into the intricacies tomorrow. And the third thing is the mocks and practice, so how we're going to do this is they're going to be volunteers, they deliver speeches, I'll give you feedback, which everybody can use, and those kinds of things. So that's what we're going to do on the third day. So we're all set for training. This is the first day. 26th October to 7th November is when you're going to have your qualifiers. This does not mean that you have to make yourself available on all the dates. This means that the organizing committee is going to tell you which days you're supposed to make yourself available on, because you have your rounds on those days. So 3 rounds on 3 separate days. So assume that you're going to be occupied on those 3 days and not all of these, right? 26th November then is the finale at IIT Delhi. This is way after the first round, the second round. We'll tell you more about it later. Just know that it's going to be at IIT Delhi. And yeah, semi-finals and finals. Right. So this I've already explained. Session 2 will have speaker role, responsibility, tips, tricks, structure of an argument, how to do rebuttals, judging metric. This I've already explained. All right. Any questions with reference to the two schedules I have shown? Don't send direct messages. I won't be reading them because direct messages get lost in this all of these messages that I'm getting. Will there be a proper topic to debate on, or will we just get this vague theme? You'll get proper topics, but around 2-3 days before the tournament. But right now, just read up on the theme. Finale round will take place in Delhi. Yes, it will. Do we just need to explain the topic in debate, or we have to tell its pros and cons too? I'll explain that on day 2. Ma'am, please tell us some points against subtopic of round 1. Okay, there are not going to be any points against the subtopic because it's a theme. You don't debate against a theme, you debate against a motion. All okay. Quick clarification, guys. A theme is an overarching, a grand idea. A topic is a part of the theme. A topic is what you debate on. A theme is like how else can we explain a theme? It's like it gives you an idea of what this event is about. So theme is not debatable, right? It is the topic that is debatable, and the topic will be related to the theme. A simple way of understanding it is this. So there's fruits, right? So fruits is theme, and the various fruits you have in there, like apples, mangoes, oranges, those become your topics. So you don't debate on fruits. You debate on apples and oranges and what are better, right? So topics are going to happen afterwards. You're going to get topics afterwards, but you have gotten the broad idea, which is like through my analogy, the fruits. That broad idea you've gotten right now. So don't think about pros and cons on the theme. Just read about it in general. I hope I've made myself clear. Right. How can, ma'am, do we have to argue or just give a speech? This is for day 2. I'll explain how it's done. How can we get selected in second round, day 2? When and where will we get the topics for qualifiers? Again, we'll share a motion schedule. Don't worry about it. It'll happen after all the trainings are over, and trainings will be over on 21st. When and where will we get the topics for qualifiers? What will be the time limit? Like I said, there's going to be a motion schedule that we'll publish. Ma'am, do we need to read deeply science and tech from it? No, you don't have to deeply read about anything. You don't have to deeply read about anything. I'm clarifying that over and over again. You just need to have a fundamental understanding. How can we get selected in second round? I'm not able to take people's queries verbally. Please put them in the chat. Ma'am, should we need to read okay, this is done. How can we get selected in second round? I'll tell you that later. Ma'am, when will we get a topics? Again, repeat question. Can you explain what exactly will the round go down and debate? Will it be like, okay, yeah, that's happening. That's coming, guys. Be patient. If your question is about the format, if your question is about speaker roles, you're asking the wrong questions because I'm yet to cover that. Okay, same kind of questions, topic. So topic will be released later after all the trainings are over, and trainings will be over on 21st of October. So there's a lot of time before the topics are released. Until then, please read up on the theme, all right?
Ma'am, is language matter a lot?
Language does not matter a lot, as in if you're grammatically making some error, it's not going to mean that you lose. But yeah, a little bit of clarity in what you're saying is needed. And
So, ma'am,
no, I don't like this breach of rules, guys. In the chat, no breach of rules. Do we need to be available the entire day? Second, yeah, online, yes, it's online. A little bit of Hindi. You definitely can't make it like completely Hindi. I mean, please try to keep it in English if you want to score well. English is the language for this debate. That's how it has to be. Kindly tell. Okay. Lots of questions coming in. No extra points for good vocabulary. Topics will not be given on the spot. You're not listening. Will all debates be 1 versus 1? Yes, for the first round. If it's about India, why can't we use Hindi? Because there's also something called Indian English, and the language is set by the tournament. So this means that, I mean, there's no two ways about it. You can use a little bit of Hindi if you want to do quotes or something, but you can't definitely make it all Hindi. It will not clash with school schedule. Will be starting from 3:30 p.m. onwards. Aditi, what is it that you're trying to clarify? All of these questions are improper questions because I'm going to be dealing with all of this shortly. Hold your questions for a while, guys. You're asking questions that I need to about things that I'm yet to explain. Hold your questions. I'm not responding to any of them right now. Hear me out on the format. The format is one versus one. It's an individual format. This means that there's not going to be any teammate that you're going to be given. There's not going to be any teamwork. It's just you, the topic that you will be given around 3 to 2 days before the tournament, and how you prepare on that. Right. The number of speeches that you're going to give per round are going to be two. The first speech is called the constructive speech or the main speech, where you share your positive matter, where you share your major points about the debate, about the topic that we will be giving. The second speech is going to be a reply speech. A reply speech, as the name suggests, is going to be your reply to your opponent. So your opponent will deliver their main speech and then you will respond to their reply speech. All right, I'll tell you how that happens and which speaker goes first and which speaker goes second in shortly in like 2 minutes. Right? There is going to be at least two prepared rounds. This means that you're going to get at least two motions at least 2 to 3 days before the tournament starts. So you will have around 2 to 3 days to prep on that particular on those motions. All right. You can research if you don't understand a particular word in the motion. You can research if you don't understand a concept or a name in the motion, but you can't, of course, directly copy arguments from the internet. If you do that, that's going to cost you. But if you do use internet only for background research, then that's fine. POIs are not allowed. What are POIs? POIs are questions that you want to ask your opponent. You can't ask them in this debate, okay? All the questioning, all the answering that you need to do, it has to happen in your second speech. That's what second speeches are for. Those are your reply speeches. No questioning, no clarifications to the judge through the chat box is going to be entertained in this particular format. We're very strict about it, all right? So the only way in which you engage in the debate in a round is first with your 3 minute long speech. It's the main speech. And second, with your reply speech. You cannot, apart from these two speeches that you get, you cannot have any extra time for making any clarifications or asking questions to your opponent or making clarifications to the judges. The judges don't listen like that. They only listen to you when you are saying something as part of your speech. All right. The 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. The fifth bubble says that oral adjudication is not applicable in this round. What does that mean? Oral adjudication means the judge will not give you an oral feedback on your performance. They will not tell you that this is the verdict and this is who wins the debate. That's going to be reserved for later. So you will get to know which round you won and lost later, all right? It's not going to happen immediately after the debate. So don't expect it. All right. The next thing is the speaker positions. Also, don't worry. We'll be sharing this PPT with you all. So you will have access to all of these slides. Okay. The 1 versus 1 format in qualifiers is going to work on 4 speeches per round. 4 speeches and 1 versus 1 means one person going against another. For example, let's assume that we are in a debate room and not in a training session for 2 minutes. And there's Parul on my screen. So Parul is my opponent and I, Nitiksha, am proposition. So I am going for the motion and Parul is going off like against the topic. The topic will be given 2-3 days before. Your side, for or against, will be given on the spot. This means that when you are given the topic, you need to prepare from both the sides because you can be given any side on the spot, right? So let's say the judge tells me, or I receive an Excel sheet which says that Didiksha will have to go for and Parul will go against. I say, okay, I am for. This means that the side which is for the motion is the side that starts the debate. Please make a note of that. I'm stopping after I've made that comment. The side which is proposition is the side that makes the debate. This means that if you are proposition, you are going to deliver the very first speech which opens the debate, your main speech. The 3 minute long main speech will be delivered by you first. Side prop speaker one, 3 minutes constructive speech. That's what this yellow bubble is about. Moving on, the first speech from op will come in now. All right. Again, 3 minutes constructive, same format for the first speeches for both sides. After op, prop reply will happen. Proposition will reply after listening to their opposition first speech. So first you listen to this, and whatever they say in this, you respond to that here. You don't ask questions. You don't do anything in between. You just respond to whatever you think is the problem in this speech through your reply speech. All right. And after listening to the reply speech of prop, opposition will do their reply. That's the last speech. Again, 3 minutes. So 3 for proposition first speech, 3 for opposition first speech, 3 for proposition reply, and then 3 for opposition reply. How much does that make it per round? 12 minutes. 12 minutes per round. All right. So that's what each round is going to look like for you all. If I'm making sense, give me a thumbs up, like the emoji, so that I know how many of you are with me on the same page. A thumbs up, please. 52 people understand. How about the rest of 150? Come on, quickly, thumbs up. Only 29 people have their hand raised. What are we doing? Quick in the next 2 minutes, please. All right. Okay, you can lower your hands. Okay, so this is the format, all right? I'll take the questions towards the end because the questions you are asking are the questions I'm going to respond to through these slides. Okay, now look at the kind of motions that topics that you might get. Some of you had questions about, hey, what are the topics going to look like? They're going to look like this. Every topic starts with a this house something, all right? So the commonality between all of these topics, is that it starts with this house, this also starts with this house, this also starts with this house, and this also th means this house. I want you all to guess in the chat, what does the house mean in this debate? Okay, judges, side, teams. Right. All right. So you're all right. Okay, like all of you are right. But the catch is this. The house means proposition side, opposition side, and the judges. All of them put together. You make the house, right? The room in and of itself becomes the house where the debate is happening. And if your proposition, listen to this very carefully. This is very important for first timers, okay? If your proposition, which means if you're for the motion, you do exactly what the house tells you to do. I'm repeating, if you're for the motion, if your proposition, you do exactly what the house tells you to do. For example, The first topic says this house believes that India should be portrayed as a center of knowledge, right? This means that the house is telling you to believe that India should be portrayed as center of knowledge. So you're going to support that. You're going to say yes, we believe that India should be portrayed as a center of knowledge. But if you're off, you do exactly the opposite of what the house tells you to do. You say, no, we don't think India should be portrayed as the center of knowledge in the current world. All right. Now, quick exercise. In the second motion, this house supports the rise of Bhakti movement as a segment of Hinduism in the medieval period. Which side will support the rise of Bhakti movement? For or against? Prop or off? Okay, everybody's got the right answer. I'm sorry. This is tricky. If you can get this right, I'll assume you've understood this well. The third topic. This house regrets Indian rulers that become allies of the Mughal Empire. Who is going to regret it here? Indian rulers' allyship with the Mughal here? Proper op. Who is regretting it? Okay, see, in this case, some of you are saying, oh, you're wrong if you're saying, oh. So the house is telling you to regret, right? This means that you're going to regret Indian rulers' allyship with Mughal Empire because the house is telling you to do that, and whatever the house says, prop side listens. All right. So this mistake happens mostly because you think that hey, regretting is a negative word. That's why opposition does the negative things. No, even proposition can regret something which is a negative thing if the house tells it to do so. So the best way of finding out what you're supposed to do on a particular side is to see what is the house telling you to do and do exactly what it wants you to do if you're prop, or do exactly the opposite if you're off. Am I making any sense here? Thumbs up. All right. Got it. All right. Now, important clarifications before I call it a day today. All three rounds are going to be 1 versus 1. Okay. All three rounds are going to have three different motions. All right. All three rounds are going to have three different opponents that you're going to go against. So, if I am, of course, I'm Nitiksha. If Nitiksha goes against Angel in the first round, I'll go against Antarjita in the second because they are a different person. And in the third one, I might go against Anusha. I will not go against Angel over and over again. It makes no sense like that, right? Attending and preparing all rounds is mandatory. Again, clarification. Sometimes we act all too smart and we think, okay, we've lost 2 rounds, so there's no point attending the third round because losing 2 rounds means that we are out of the game. That's untrue. We are not counting the number of rounds you are winning. We are counting the scores that you're getting. This means that I could lose to somebody because they got a 30 on 30 and I got 29 on 30. Now that's still good because I have 29 score, which is very, very high. Now some people can be winning on a 20 on 30, right? So their opponent got a 10 on 30, they got a 20 on 30 and they're winning. You're still better than that person who won in an average room because you lost in an above average room. So your scores matter. That's why show up for every round. You don't know what speaker scores you have been given. You might just qualify even if you've lost rounds. So don't give up on yourself before you've debated in all 3 rounds. It's just 12 minutes per round, which is 12 into 3, what, 36? 36 minutes in total. Average of all rounds will be considered for qualification to interstate rounds. I already explained that. You can refer to sheets for giving your speech, but you cannot read out your entire speech. Very common question, frequently asked. Can I read off a paper as a senior category? No. You can't completely read your speech. That's very juvenile. But you can definitely refer to the bullet points that you've made. So you read a bullet point, you're reminded of your point, and then you can deliver on your own. Then you read another bullet point, you're reminded of what you were about to say, you can deliver it on your own, like that. All right. Cool, we're done. Now, I will take only smart questions. And by smart, I mean questions which I have not already answered in through the slides. All right. So be very particular about the questions you're asking. If you put the same question in the chat 5 times, I'm definitely ignoring that. So don't act out too smart with that. Ma'am, for impromptu rounds. Okay, let them come. There's a lot of questions coming in. Okay, now stop asking questions, okay? Because otherwise I'm not able to read. The chat keeps continuing. Stop. Stop typing, guys. Can we stop? Okay. Madhav is saying means we will get 3 minutes for main speech and 3 minutes for reply for opposition motion. Yes, that's right. Also, before I answer all the questions, if you don't have any questions and you think you're very, very comfortable with what I have said so far and you understand everything, then you can also drop from the call. We're done for the day. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. All right. So those of you who want to leave, who understood things, please just drop from the call. Thank you so much for joining in. Right. So, right, Madhav's question is answered. Daksha is asking, can we question and reply speech? I mean, you can question, but don't expect an answer. I mean, and don't question, right? Like, no point of questioning in reply speech. Just tell the judges what you think is the problem on their side. Side will be provided by the judges on the spot. Yes, not by the judges, by us through an Excel sheet. Ma'am, recording at the end, please. Yeah, we'll be sending the recording on the WhatsApp group. Do you have to continuously speak for the 3 minutes? Do you lose point if you? No, you don't lose points if you don't continuously speak. If you take a break, you're not going to necessarily be down marked really badly for that. The rounds will happen on Zoom. No questioning is allowed for op or anybody else, just the. There's no minimum score. Like I said, it depends. Minimum score depends on how, I mean, it keeps changing, right? Somebody might get a 20 on 30, somebody might never get a 20 on 30 because all of you are good. It depends on how you're performing. You'll get the topics 3 days before, yes. Do we need to prepare for proper no? Both, yes. Yeah, 2 prepared rounds for sure. It can also be 3. We'll release the motion schedule shortly. Motion is just a fancy word for topic, Parul. Second round will be online. Yes, you'll get the recording and the PDF. Impromptu round, you'll have at least 1 hour. You can do rebuttals in the reply speech and also rebuilding in clashes, Kabir. The topics will be released, Parul. Each round will have 3 motions. No. Each round will have 1 motion. If there are 3 rounds, there's going to be 3 different motions, 1 per round. Zoom. It'll be held on Zoom. A lot of you asking that. Yeah, each round will have 1 motion. 3 round means 3 chances. Yes, 3 rounds mean 3 different chances. What will be the marking criteria? That's for tomorrow. I'll explain that tomorrow. Okay. How many debates will be impromptu? 2 are definitely prepared. The third one can also. This will be clarified by the motion schedule we said. Yeah, you have to make 2 speeches. All right. So I'm done with the questions. Are there any other questions? All right, stop typing. Let me read the questions that have come in the last 2 minutes. Stop typing now. I'll take another round of questions. Stop typing. Nobody listens. Stop typing. Yeah. How much time will we have after you announce our side? Not much, like 5 minutes. Be prepared from both sides beforehand. Yeah, you can hold a palm card, cue card. That's fine. Yeah, topic will change in every round. You can counterpoint your opponent, sure. In the first speech, you don't have to rebut. If you want to express your views, then you can. I mean, there's no strict rule. Okay, repeat questions. I really don't like it when people put their questions multiple times thinking that will give them visibility. It doesn't. Can you please elaborate on impromptu round? A motion schedule will be shared, guys. Don't worry about it. It's not happened yet. When it happens, we'll give you proper clarification on WhatsApp. Criteria for point distribution will be discussed tomorrow, Bhavya. The science and tech we need to study. Social, political, economic, cultural, environmental, everything, guys. I'm not telling you to only do science and tech, Shranshi. No informal discussions. Yeah. It can be that a 9th, 10th grader is competing the 12th grader because this is category based. Debates are category based, they're not grade based. You can refer to mobile or tabs if you have bullet points, not for entire speeches. Who is this person? Ananya. Same question asked multiple times. Don't do it, people. How much time will we have after you announce our side? Again, this is Suhavi. Next time onwards, I'm not going to take your questions if you're going to write it 10 times. Will we get our scores after the speech is done? No, Tanish. Yeah, you can take 30, 40 seconds from the judge to before you start a speech. That is permissible. Yeah, 2 speeches per motion. That's right. Webberry. No unmoderated focus. This is not everyone, Vanshika. Suhavi, great. Like 20 times, same question. I don't want that happening tomorrow onwards if you want me to respond to your questions. How many days of gap would we provide after round one to prepare for round two? You'll be given the motions together. So you will have some time. I mean, you'll have enough time, at least 2 days. Ma'am will be informed prior whether we are no, you'll be told that on the spot if you're up or not. Yeah, only finale is offline side. Okay, repeat question. Can we lose points in taking breaks like no? Ma'am, you didn't explain impromptu speech. Motion schedule will be released. That's when we'll be telling you what it means. Impromptu mostly means that your topic will come to you only half an hour or 1 hour before the debate starts. Only one topic per round, yes. Cool. I think we're done. So most of the questions are answered. I'm not responding to this question about offline online because I've responded to it multiple times. Please watch the recording. And Shreyanshi, I've responded to this question as well. All, not science and tech, all sorts of things you're supposed to look up. Time of competition will be 3:30 to 8:30 p.m. on your dates. First round will start from 26th October. Kabir, this question of yours, I'll take tomorrow. This is important. Good question also. I'll take it tomorrow. Just ask this again tomorrow because tomorrow we'll be discussing things in detail. Also social, yes, social, political, everything about India. How many contestants will be selected in stage? Depends. Depends on the number of people we have. We have a lot of people, then more people teams will qualify. So no definite figure. Yeah, you can get for 30, 40 seconds, not 1 minute. Nobody is going to give you 1 minute before you start your speech, but you can take 20, 30 seconds. If motion is impromptu, you'll get at least 1 hour. school at 3:30, please type to hello@ogly.ai about your personal concerns with dates and timings. hello@ogly.ai. Ma'am, during the first and second round, will only the judges and debaters be there for? No, nobody will be there. It will be just the debaters and the judges. Don't worry. Yeah, AI is also important. Shreyanshi, you should read about everything a little bit, all right? This is, I mean, so yeah, that's all I can tell you. What is the pillars of topic? Pillars is the theme itself, right? So theme is ancient India, medieval India, modern India, how they are interconnected, how we have evolved. Can you tell that on WhatsApp? All of this will be shared on WhatsApp. We'll share the recording, we'll share the PDF. Time limit is not flexible at all. Just now, you'll get maximum 20 seconds extra, maximum. Results will be given towards the end. Like not to, after this round, after the qualifiers are over later. All right, I think we're mostly done for today. We'll meet tomorrow also, so don't get all too desperate to like get your questions answered.